Well, so today I got myself in a little bit of a sticky situation. I want to find out which one of these tacks is going to hold up on my screen printing press the longest. Let's go. All right, so today we got the classic traditional that I've been using for years. It's just this tape roll transfer that you put some glue adhesive on, and you can get quite a few prints out of that. Then we got a dual tack palette tape, it says a light tack or medium tack from PMI. And then we got the high tack from PMI that I just got and haven't used this one yet. And then the brand new thing to my shop here, I ordered one of these. It's the print grip. So we're gonna install this, each one of these on a different board today. We're gonna run this t-shirt job that we have in there and see how each one of them holds up while in the middle of production. So whatever one holds up best, we're gonna rip off the other ones and finish the job. Join me, let's go. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna put on here on board 4 out of my 6 boards is the traditional, this is just like transfer tape. And it just keeps your board from getting yucky from the glue. So I've been using this for 14 years. So it works. It gets the job done, but as we grow and learn and get better, new stuff comes out and we gotta give it a try. So that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna come back to this to put glue on this later. I'm gonna do the rest of the boards by putting the rest of the print grip stuff on there, and then we'll get that squeegee messy with the glue. So let's go to board number 3. And on board number 3, we're gonna do the dual tack, medium tack here from PMI Tape. Actually, the width of this thing works really good to go this way on these ones, so let's go that way. Then you can use as much of it as you can without having to throw a little bit in the garbage, because it's not cheap. Pocket knife on this one. Don't worry about those wrinkles. They come out when you do this. It's just in the paper. All right, then we'll move over to board number 2, and we're gonna go with the high tack print, or what is that, PMI tape, the high tack PMI tape here. And it looks like this one, yeah, we'll go this way too. You maximize the width of it. It's actually a lot easier if the roll goes this way to pull with your press, but with that amount of stuff hanging off, I want to maximize on my platens the width of the board here, so less trimming. All right, so on board number 1, which I feel somewhat confident about, but this will be my first time ever using it, is the print grip. So hopefully I don't install this wrong. So this side is up. I guess that side's down. So what's nice about this is it's right to the sides of the board here. So it hangs off of my platens a little bit. So we'll trim off some of that and maybe use it on a sleeve board or something. So let's make sure that there's no lint on here. Probably gotta be nice and clean to get the longest life out of it. All right, after installing a lot of vinyl, I feel the best way to do this is to peel this back a little bit. Make a nice clean edge, but leave the rest of it on there so that it doesn't just stick on you. And let's line it up on the bottom and the sides. Make sure that's good and down. Then you can pull this up, flatten it out. think what I want to do is try to come just to the edge of that so I can cut it off and save that backing paper. And maybe utilize the rest of this for something else. Why not, right? So hopefully I did that right. If I installed it wrong, leave a comment below and we'll fix it the next time. Looks cool though. All right, so I always feel that it's better to trim off the stuff while the paper's on top. So maybe we'll take a razor blade and get a little bit better edge here because of these rounded corners. And then I did see a tip online when you order probably the kit of this to wrap some tape around the edge of this to keep it from pulling up when you're setting shirts on it. So we're gonna go ahead and try that. So like that's what tends to happen is the shirt catches these right here and it pulls up and it starts to untack from the platen, and then that's when you start to have issues. There we go. That one should be the higher tack. So in my mind, what I think I got going setting up here is starting with what my best guess is that the number one with the print grip is going to be the highest tack and probably last the longest, and working our way down to the least expensive way and last a decent amount of time. That's what I'm thinking. I'm totally cool if we're totally wrong. That's what we're going to do. We're experimenting, we're learning, trying new things, trying new products, putting them all up against each other and see what one works best for my print shop and your print shop. All right, let's see how it looks with all them wrinkles on there. See, it's just the paper that wrinkles. The PMI tape actually is flat, and this one is the mid light tack. So now we're going on to the, I'm calling it old school because I've been doing that for 14 years. I've been using this one. So we're going with old school glue and tape adhesive. So we'll trim off the paper here. Oh man, that's a lot easier there. I think the thing that happens with most of these is just the edges get caught over time and start to peel up with no matter which one you use. So we'll see if that being one of the tests, if that gets removed. All right, so to do this one, there's an extra step, and that is I put the adhesive in another bottle and refill it with the gallon as this starts to get low. So you'll, with tack like this, you just pour it on lightly and then spread it in. And all the transfer paper's there just to keep your boards from getting all gross. And then when this gets nasty, you just rip it off and reapply and do it all over again. All right, so once that's on there, you gotta flash it and heat it up. So we'll run this over to our flash dryer. We'll let this dry over here. And then it'll get sticky. It's not sticky right away. So these are sticky right away. But I have more of the high tack stuff for this job. And we're gonna go ahead and put that on the other two boards because we do have actual production to run. So I'm gonna install that on the other two boards that I have. And we'll just keep note of those for printing this job. All right, so I saw this tip on another channel about putting some tape around the edge, which I've done before with regular masking tape. Today I'm gonna be using this lower tack PMI tape, full adhesive, to just kind of wrap around, that's loud, to wrap around the edge here to keep the shirt from gripping it. Let's see if it works. That edge a little bit nice and clean. By the way, when we're putting the shirt on there, I shouldn't be pulling that up. Who knows? It's worth a shot. Hey, I've seen to do it on the edges too, but what do you think? Should we try it? I don't know. It seems like it's pretty sticky. Like it's the bottom might come up on the ends here. That tends to happen. These tend to roll up. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like that for now, and we'll keep an eye on it. If it starts to come up, we'll address it when that happens. We'll just use it as is. We're gonna learn, we're gonna make mistakes, and that's how we're gonna get better. Okay, so let's set this t-shirt logo that we're printing today up. It's a one color print. I figured it was a perfect one to do for something like this, to run a test, so that way we don't, lose stuff from registration and stuff like that. So, which some tapes and adhesives can cause you to lose money. And how? Because you get it in, you get to the next print, you get it over here and it doesn't line up because it shrunk underneath the flash dryer. And that's kind of the problem this stuff is trying to solve. Keeping your shirt in place during your print. So I need a T-square. So I've had my trusty T-square for years that's got marks on it that I know where the center of these boards are, and alignment. And how I use it is I do my center line, which is nice about this Riley Hopkins press here is it actually has them marked on the boards. But years ago I did that. And then you draw your line down the middle here, so you know where to set the center of your design and shirt. And then what I like to do is about 3 inches down. So I'll go, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that would be 4. So that gives me, I set all my designs right here at 0. And it just keeps it consistent all the time. So that's my method. And I marked that on each one of these boards. I've done it right over the glue on a few of these that we've been using, and it seems to work okay. With the red Sharpie, I do recommend that you flash your shirt before, or dry this a little bit before you stick your shirt on there. If you throw a white one down, just so it doesn't actually accidentally take your Sharpie and put a line on the inside of the shirt. All right, here's a little quick tip. Fold over a little spot on your tape where it won't stick. So when you put your registration tape covers, whatever you want to call this, tape off your registration marks, you just grab that and pull it off. Because these things are a pain in the butt to clean when you're washing screens. If you have to sit there and pick the edge of the tape after it's been pressed all day, it doesn't come off easy. So save yourself some time, just fold it over. There you go. Quick tip of the day. You can thank me later. All right, I like to start on board number 1. Each one of them is labeled 1 through 6. So we're on the print grip, so we're starting with that today. I have a feeling the first time you stick this shirt on here, it's gonna not want to come off. But I don't want to mess up any kind of adjustment to it, so I want to try to stay consistent with each one of them doing the same thing. Kind of Mythbuster style. So there's our shirt number 1. And I'm gonna go ahead and preheat these first, because I like shirts that have a lot of polyester or blends in them to kind of preheat a little bit before I actually screen print them. I've had better results. So let's go ahead, and here we got the high tack. It's sticky. High tack is sticky. All right, dual medium tack. A little bit less sticky, yeah. Well, all right, tape and glue. And one thing about with the glue too is it's not covered edge to edge. I just got the glue really right where I need it, and I know I'll have to reapply this more. So, but it sticks. I guess too, we got a Cotton Core Portland Company t-shirt for this job, 50-50 blend. So that's what we're using for our prints, our shirts for our printing. Let's go over here, get some white ink on it, and rock and roll. Good old classic faithful wooden squeegee. Ooh, don't want that on the shirts. Always check your fingers. Right here, screen printers. Check your fingers. Okay. first time off for the print grip. Is it gonna? This is what's a little risky right here. This is why I went ahead and flashed it before I took it off, because you don't really want to just reef on this and just tug on it too much. You warp the logo. So what you should do before you put a shirt on here like I did is run a dirty shirt or a linty shirt on here and kind of de-tack it just a little bit, get a little bit of lint on there so that your logo turns out good. This one looks fine. If you ever have a circle logo that's something that's completely round, you definitely want to do that, because by the time you pull it off, you may have an oval. You can kind of fix it by giving it a little tug and re-rounding it before you run it through your final dry, and it'll usually look good again. So, oh shoot, dang, I did it again. It's pretty sticky. All right, so here's our first run, pulling off the, well, this one's a high tack, I think. Ooh, that comes off pretty nice. Not as grippy as I think the right amount of pull off for that. So there's that one. All right, so what do we got? This one's oh, that one's super light. That just can't, lifted right off there, easy. That's the light tack. That was a little too easy for the first run. And then let's see how the good old glue feels. I feel like the glue is a little bit more sticky than the medium tack. And after our first run, the amount of lint that's on there, like, it's pretty good. But I think we're gonna maybe with t-shirts, we'll probably get a few runs out of this. With sweatshirts, no way. You're gonna have to clean that every single run. All right, so on this run, let's not lint them off. Let's do one more run and see how they hold up. Last one. All right, back to board number one, print grip with the second run. Let's see how this pulls off. Oh, that's still really sticky. Look at that, guys. I don't know. What I like about that is we run a lot of sweatshirts. And for sweatshirts, that might be great. So, yeah. That doesn't look warped at all either, too, so. I don't know. That's pretty impressive. All right. Here's our high tack. Oh, that's still really sticky there. Just got to get them out, stick to it. All right, here's our. Oh, that came right off. So this is risky here. I'm going to consider this one done so I don't mess up my print job here. This is the light tack. There's hardly any lint on there. It feels sticky to the hand, but the shirt just came right off of there. And I would not run a second run on that one. So I'm going to say for the dual tack palette tape, I wouldn't go past 2 runs on a t-shirt there. I don't know that I'd risk that. And then there's the glue. That actually feels stickier with the glue. It was a little bit stickier than the light tack, and that's the amount of lint that's on that. All right, so far after 2 runs, I would go ahead and still use on a t-shirt, still use the print grip without cleaning the lint off. I would still use the high tack PMI tape without taking the lint off. I would not use the low tack. I think it's a little too risky. What's weird is it feels sticky to hand, but man, when I pulled that shirt off, it came off way too easy. And the glue, I would do, I didn't go crazy with the amount of glue, but I would do one more run with that. So at this point, I think the light tack's out. and I'm gonna clean it because I don't want to mess up my shirt. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. All right, so this is the cleaning system for that. There's a little bit of like degreaser in here, very little bit, and then you just spray it on there, and then you just rub the lint off. It actually works really good when you do it right out of the flash dryer. Probably time for a new pad. Let's flip that over. Spray. Slide it on. So that's the amount of lint that's coming off of there. So light tack, print grip, you're out. So before we put a shirt on this, we're gonna heat it back up to evaporate that water and moisture that's on there. But that's kind of disappointing. I'll have to double check the price on that here and figure out like what that one is compared to the high tack to kind of get the price cost. But like for 2 shirts for the run on that, I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it. All right, so since that one's drying, okay, this is run number 3 for everything else. Let's do it. All right, so that was the 3rd run. Here we go, print grip. Yeah, I think this is gonna keep going. That's sticky. I can do this. I'm pretty confident after 3 like that. This is gonna run the whole entire t-shirt job. The only thing is like, if you got a round logo, like I said, make that a little bit less sticky. All right, board 2. That's still, I wouldn't reglue that with t-shirts or clean that off yet. Keep going for a 4th on that one. And then what do we got here? This was the, oh, that just, okay, I'm taking it off. I'm not even gonna risk it. Like, that didn't stick at all. That was horrible. Like that makes no sense. That feels really sticky, but to the shirt, it just came right off. And if it's not grabbing the shirt, it's not helpful at all. So that one feels a little bit like it's ready. So I think with the glue now, after 3 runs, 3 trips around, it's time to clean that one. Okay, so we're gonna move to the glue traditional one, and at this point we're gonna clean it just the same way that we did on the other PMI tape. Spray it, and this is kind of satisfying to watch it just kind of go away. Now at this point, let's go ahead and flash it because it's got to be dry. Completely clean looking again. I like that. Now will it hold up without having to reapply glue? That's the question, because I am calling the PMI low tack tape out. I don't even want to risk putting it on for the rest of my shirts for this job, because I have a feeling that if I flash it or move it, or if I was doing a 2-color print, it's going to cause issues and either mess up registration or even mess up registration on a 1-color when I put that 2nd coat to make that white pop. The flash dryer, because I'm preheating it, that's pretty much saving my butt right now. But when I come back over here, if I didn't, it would probably shrink the shirt and misalign because it's not holding it and bonding well enough. So it's out. Sorry, it's the first loser. So if you placed your bets for the medium tack, sorry. So let's not reapply any more glue to the traditional one. We just did a clean. and we'll run that one again. But in the meantime, I'm gonna take dual tack, low tack off. Bye bye. Okay, so this is gonna be run number 4. That was unfortunate having to take that off and stop for a minute and replace those. So let's go ahead and carry on and see how that glue holds up. I think that's the next weak spot. That one clean on that, the most I got out of it was 3 shirts. T-shirts for that matter. I think if it was sweatshirts, there's a lot more lint when it comes to sweatshirts. And I'm preheating. If I wasn't preheating and I was just doing a one color, one pass like on a white shirt, I think they would change some variables in this too. So, but most of us are doing black shirts all the time. So this is a real world test. In the middle of a live actual print job. All right, so that was run number 4. Here we go. It's still super sticky. Okay, I'm kind of curious to see how that works on sweatshirts. That's awesome. I'm impressed. That might be worth its weight in gold right there. It is gold too, so that might actually end up saving me some money. Say for a definitely close number 2, the high tack for sure, and the glue. That's without reapplying glue for the 4th run. After cleaning it, I think I would clean this and add a little bit more glue, especially if you're running a multiple color print job, so you don't risk registration from the moving of the shirt. A lot of times we forget that it's not that the screen falls out of whack or something happens with micros. It's your adhesive that makes for a good tight registration. So with that said, I would say the use for the cost for what you get for using the palette adhesive and glue tack, it's a good product. It's been around for years. And the nice thing is, like, you just clean it and apply some more and keep going. You don't have to rip it off once it's done. Like at this point, I can just add a little bit more and keep printing, and I don't have to take the tape off until it gets really, really gross. But for this little experiment we're doing here, I'm gonna say that this method of holding down your shirts and glue and palette adhesive here is out. That's hard because it's been with me for such a long time. Coming in first place right now, taking the lead, we got Print Grip. Close behind, we got PMI Tape High Tack number 382. So you can get it right at. All right, so run number 5. That was a little bit of, there's all kinds of stuff sticking to it. One thing too is, like, I forget to think about is, like, when you're using the palette adhesive and the glue tack, getting that stuck to the inside of the shirt can be an issue sometimes. I feel like with the Print Grip stuff and the high tack, it's pretty clean on the inside of the shirt, because the last thing you want is to put it on and it glues itself to your chest. So that's one thing you can kind of run into, is an over amount of glue being on there, and you stick the shirt on there, and then when you pull it up, it sticks to the inside of the shirt. I've had this happen before. It does come out in the wash most of the time, but it's best to just avoid it altogether. So that's where you still would like to put a test shirt on and then pull it up and let it stick to something that you're not selling to a customer. All right, so let's see, Print Grip, board 1, run number 5. So sticky. That's great. That's really good. I'm impressed. I am impressed. What I feel like this reminds me a lot of is those reusable lint rollers, but with a lot more use out of them. I feel like those lint rollers you constantly had to like clean off more before you did with that, so it's a much better product. High tack, that one I still have not done after 5 runs, and I would still go on that one. It's starting to get less sticky for sure. Definitely less sticky than print grip after that amount of runs. Going for round 6. Hey, you guys down there. This is run number 6. Taking it off. It can go all day long. Really, really sticky. Sweet. All right, all we gotta do is like if PMI tape, whenever the high tack gives out, I still think I can do more on that one. There's a lot of lint on there. There's a lot of lint on both of those. Run 11. Okay, so this is run number 11 right here. I'm starting to lose count, but I think the high tack PMI might need to be cleaned, especially if I was doing a 2-color print. I wouldn't want it to throw off my registration. That's print grip. I'd probably finish this whole job with it. I think I'm gonna finish this whole job with it. So let's see, here we are. Is it still good? Dang, I don't know. On a 1-color print, here on the 11th run, I still think you could probably get away with that. It's definitely not sticky to the touch like it was, but it's holding the shirt for some reason. That's kind of weird, but what I would hate to have happen is it worth me messing up a shirt just for this video to make sure that it works, or call it at that. So I kind of want to push it. See how good it is. So far I'm impressed. It's way better than all the other things. I think it's a good fit for most shops. I was a little nervous when it said high tack because of it being too sticky, but I think it's just right. After, a few runs of shirts, 11, 12 runs of shirts, I think that's not too bad to clean it at that point. But let's see if we can make it to 12. It seems like a good number. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 runs. All right, I think 12 is a good number. I pulled off the PMI tape high tack on the last one, and it was just, it's too risky to carry on in the middle of an actual production job, and I wouldn't risk it if I was doing it either for this video or to try to like do the actual job. So this is a real customer's project that I'm doing this on, so I don't want to mess up any of their shirts. There is one other test I think I want to try on a test shirt, not an actual one, and I'm going to do it without a flash on 2 of them and see if it holds registration for the second color. So that means I'm not preheating the shirt. So let's give that a test real quick. All right, for this test, I don't want to use my actual customer's products to do this one, so I'm going to use a couple test shirts. All of us print shops have tons of test shirts. At one point, the glue probably gave out or the print grip gave up, and that's how test shirts are come to be. So on the print grip, this time I'm going to do a no flash. Usually what the flash does is it helps shrink the shirt and get it kind of more in place and bond it together better on the platen, so it actually will line up a lot better. So this time I'm going to skip that preheating process and see if the print grip and PMI tape will hold up for a second color of this white on his job here. So we'll go straight to print flash print, which would significantly speed up the process. And if your tape can hold it, I would say skip that preheating and just do it. So we're going to start here on the PMI tape high tack. I have not cleaned it yet. It just went through 12 runs. We just did the one color there. Let's go ahead and do it on the print grip. I'm pretty confident the print grip's going to hold just fine after 12 runs. So no preheat, running underneath that flash dryer. I'm gonna get that thing nice and close and nice and hot. So come on over here with me. Let's get this really hot. Because what tends to happen is things will shrink. And then your registration, that your adhesive is gonna hold it in place. So as this gets hot, the shirt's shrinking a little bit. And with that new print on there and not being pre-shrunk before you print it, it can shrink the design too. So then when you go and put your other image on or your second color, it can throw off your registration. And it's not because your screen, it's because of this right here. If this is to hold without having to do a preheat, you're gonna be able to do your production a lot faster. And looking through the screen, it looks like it did. That's with the high tack right there. After 12 things and no wash, 12 times around, it lined right up. I have in the past had this if there's low tack or pallet adhesive, shrink it enough to where it wouldn't do it. Timing underneath there, even if there is low glue, like if I let it heat up a whole lot more, it probably could have moved then. This one I'm totally fine. So look at that. After even 12 times through, both print grip and PMI high tack held up to it even without a preheating process. So that's pretty cool. So after all that, that could have probably sped up my production process here. Seeing as how this is an actual customer job. Filming videos is great and fun. I have a lot of fun doing it. I like sharing and looking back on my own knowledge with it and sharing it with all you guys that are watching. And it does significantly slow down your process of doing all this stuff. But it, you know, that's helpful and everybody learns something. So I think with that, I'm gonna probably go ahead and clean this off and get this job done and call it at 12, 13. You could probably go. I don't know that I would, in a real world scenario, put a 2-color registration on this. I would definitely clean this to make sure that it's not gonna mess up my client shirt, because who wants to order extra shirts and mess those up? Check out the link in the description below where you can support my channel and everything that we got going on here. We can learn together. Remember, you were designed to do great things. We'll see you in the next video.